2019. It is 7:35, and I don't have a clerk yet, so we're not going to start. Never mind. I missed her.
She's going to see the Cavs game, so she.
Well, wait,
She has time.
here she comes. I was going to say, otherwise Mark could call the roll.
Sorry, Josephine, I got excited.
Mark can always do it.
I heard that gavel, and I thought, really?
I jumped the gun.
We thought you left for the Cavs game.
No. Mr. Belkey.
Here.
Mr. Engel.
Here.
Ms. Hannikin.
Here.
Mr. Molnar.
Here.
Ms. Tully.
Here.
Now I ask Tom O'Brien from American Legion Post 801, chaplain, to lead us in prayer and following us to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
With bowed heads, let us pray. Almighty God, as the Memorial Day festivities have ended, let us remember that Memorial Day is the most solemn of all the veterans' holidays, a day that we set aside to remember those brave men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice, their lives, in exchange for our freedom. As we gather here this evening, we ask for your blessing, that America remain free and true to our Constitution. We pray for those who serve the people and guard the public welfare, that by thy blessing they may be enabled to discharge their duties honestly and well. Almighty God, we ask for thy blessing upon our flag, the emblem of our republic. May it fly forever over a free land. May the words, "In God we trust," ever live, and may thy faith of our forefathers guide, protect, and sustain our citizens. We ask thy blessing. Amen. And now please face the flag, and with hand over heart, join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. First up, we have the approval of minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted by the Clerk of Council for the May 25th regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Moving on to public comments. First one on the list is Mark Andrasik. If you can come to the microphone up in the front here, state your name, address, and we ask that you try to keep it to less than 5 minutes.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Andrasik. I live at 1148 Brook Point Drive. Before I begin, I'd like to pass a couple of pictures out to the council.
Thank you.
Like I said, I live on Brook Point Drive, my wife and 2-year-old daughter. Our house is 5 houses west of Longbrook Drive on the south side of Brook Point, which geographically puts our house between Brook Point and Riverview. I come today because not only am I a concerned citizen, I'm also a professionally licensed civil engineer. And for the past couple of years, we've been at this house for 2.5 years, and we have had stormwater issues every year. Several times a year, the structural integrity of our house has been challenged. Several times a year, we have such a large capacity of turbulent, unsanitary, and flat-out dangerous amounts of water that flow directly to our house. And like I said, they're a threat. It's a threat. I mean, a couple of pictures that are passing around. I mean, this is our yard, and I'm 6'2", and I literally stand in my driveway in water knee deep. And these are pictures from throughout the years, not just this year. This picture here, a garbage can was knocked over, and that white object in the center is a propane tank floating. That's how much water we have. Something else to address too is you can see the water flows directly to the house. But if you look, you can see part of our shed. Right behind the shed is a 10-foot wide easement. And in the easement, directly behind our shed, is a catch basin which according to the service department has a 15-inch pipe. And that flows downstream to another catch basin in our neighbor directly downhill that connects the 15-inch pipe to a 33-inch pipe. So I guess long story short, the drainage facilities are there, but the water, like I said, is flowing directly to our house. So, we come tonight just asking the city to help us out, reroute the water to where it needs to go, where it was originally intended to go, to this easement and the catch basins and the piping. Thank you.
Thank you. I will note that ordinance 54, 2017 is what we have in place to rectify your situation. So if 54 passes, you're going to have some resolve. Next up is Kathy Loya.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Loya. I live at 9186 North Bedford Road. Stormwater is at the forefront of a lot of residents' minds right now because of the recent rain, especially in April and May. I want to continue with what I have, but I have been up here since 2006 complaining about my stormwater situation. And I am told we got to look at it. Study, study, study. We can't take care of it. We can't do anything. We're going to pass the buck on to somebody else. So I'm glad that there's people that are going to get their stormwater situations figured out and resolved. I'm not. With that being said, putting my own personal stormwater situation aside, I have some questions that I'd like to ask tonight about stormwater because I am concerned about the situation here in Macedonia. As I stated, my stormwater situation is well known because of my time here at this podium. I've been in this community since 2005. And I think this city has been receiving emails and seen my face since 2006. My most recent email was from June 1st of 2017. Again, I'm fully aware of the city's stance on my stormwater situation, that it's a regional issue, and now under the guise of NERSD. Dealing with this entity for over a year now with their study of my property in Indian Creek has been frustrating and slow. I'm very pessimistic about the prospect of my stormwater situation ever being solved in a satisfactory manner, and this concerns both me and my husband quite a bit. In light of this, again, I want to inquire about stormwater all over Macedonia and leave my stormwater situation out of the conversation. So any answers that you might have, I'd really appreciate. My first question has to do with 883 Iroquois Run. It was a private residence that was purchased by the city from those residents in 2015. The city has owned this property and been in possession of it since December of 2015. What are the engineering plans for the retention basin once this home is finally demolished? And I can only assume and hope that residents are going to be positively impacted at Iroquois and Chiriquois Run. So are there engineering plans for that?
Oh, yes, yeah. We have the plans in place. They've been in place for a while. And as we discussed in the executive session, we're simply waiting on a schedule for the removal of the house by Summit County Land Bank.
Runoff from the top of Shepherd Road to Indian Creek is a concern of mine because so many homes are in the path. And it seems like there's out of control stormwater runoff. Retention is needed at the top in order to control the flow that affects the people at the bottom. And this scenario seems to have been discussed for a very long time now. I can remember back in 2007 when we were on the stormwater committee, yet nothing has been done. So my second question has to do with standing water. Standing water during rain events in April and May have led to the closure of Ledge Road under the railroad bridge. I think it was closed 3 times, once in April and twice in May due to high water. We also saw road closures at North Bedford and 82. So what are the city's plans for addressing the movement of this water off of Ledge so it doesn't pool and collect underneath that railroad bridge?
We have one?
Well, I can start the conversation there where obviously your situation and North Bedford are related to each other. And just to go backtrack a little bit, and so you're aware, the Brook Point resolve is $12,000. when we talked about your situation, we've heard numbers as high as $1 million. So obviously, we haven't had $1 million, and with what we've just put through, we have some leeway to fix some of these little issues that we have around town. Any RSD has, taken this one by the horns, and I'm just as frustrated as you are. If you may not believe this, but you're not the only one that calls me about the situation over there. There's other people that I know along that way that have the same issues you're having and say to me, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? I want it to happen tomorrow, but that's not the reality. Our engineer could probably touch on where any RSD is with it, but we're at their mercy at this point. I'm not really satisfied with where they're at and how slow they move, but unfortunately, if they're going to put up almost $1 million to resolve the problem, it's hard for us to say boo. I mean, we can try and shove them along, and I think we've done our part to do that, but this is the reality of where we're at. To come up with that money right now, we can't do that. So if they're going to take it and fund it, we're going to allow them to do that. But you know where they're at in the process right now?
Yeah, we do. NEORSD came into the City Hall a couple of weeks ago to meet with John and myself and present us with the information and the study that they had to this point, and they were asking us for some local input as to their study, what we see, what we don't see, if we think they're addressing the correct areas or addressing incorrect areas. And so obviously we gave them all of our local input, which they'll incorporate into their study. And certainly the first thing that we talked about was drainage at the North Bedford Ledge intersection. And it was very clear with Rachel, Rachel Webb from the district, that's certainly our highest priority, and it needs to be addressed. And I even went so far as to give them my opinion as to how it should be addressed.
So what about the water underneath the railroad bridge on Ledge?
Some of the water that collected during the runoff, during the rains, came from up top of Ledge, Northwell Center, where there are 2 catch basins that water was not getting to and continued to flow. We have corrected that. Now we need a rain to make sure it is working properly. So we alleviated that situation. We were able to clear the catch basin just west of the bridge on the north side that was constantly getting covered with small debris. We're going to look to redefine that area and throw a large stone in the riprap to prevent any type of sediment from getting on top of that grade again.
Okay.
To keep those open.
And how about 82 in North Bedford? When that
I don't
closes?
have an answer for.
Okay. So my third question, let me go back. Closing roads due to high water is a big concern because it's not only an inconvenience, but it also takes our safety forces away from their duties to stand and block the road on both sides so that drivers don't potentially get trapped. Not to mention they can't get around town either.
Yeah.
My third thing has to do with road projects have been announced for 17, which is absolutely phenomenal. But what does council identify as the top 3 stormwater concerns that they might see addressed in 2017?
I wrote some down. They're all top priorities. But of course, yours at Ledge Road in North Bedford. I have some concerns with the drainage at Lake Forest Estates where I live. Some of that work was just completed by the NRSD. But I know that in front of Dunkin' Donuts, that was North Bedford Road. I was talking to one of the police officers. They drove past it, and they said it was fine. And within 5 minutes, it was flooded out. And it's because the water had nowhere else to go. So that's obviously when you're shutting down roads, that's a priority to figure out how to make sure that doesn't happen again. I also know that Rolling Hills was shut down for a period. Those are ones I just wrote down off the top of my head. It's a big problem. So we have to work as a team to accomplish. And I was just informed tonight that, and you said it in your speech, that you're part of a stormwater team that put together a packet. And Sylvia and I were talking that those problems are still.
We're still talking about all of them.
And it does have a lot to do with money. We know that every time that you spend money, it's scrutinized. But sometimes you have to solve problems, and I'm all for it. I'm not an expert in any of them, to answer you, Kathy. And the thing about when I hear things from the NRSD or from the engineering, I got to take them for their word, and they said, this is what's going on. So I know you don't want to hear the word patience, but, all I have to tell you is that they're telling me they're going to be rectified. And without going into too many other things, I take them for their word.
Kathy, I did have a chance to go look at the report that was done in 2008, and it was based on the study from 2007 when we had one of the worst flooding situations that we've had in my lifetime here. Let me just say a couple things about this. Everything that we are considering a priority is already listed in this plan, including the problems on Indian Creek, including the Sioux Lane culvert, including the problems in the Brook Point, Berkshire, Ledgeview area. They're all considered very important, and they had the prices identified with them at that time. One of the things that was recommended, which never happened, was that they consider having a stormwater fee of some kind at that point, if you recall. And we actually do have one now. The 25% of what NERSD is collecting was not voluntary on our part, but we're now dealing with it. So I think a couple things to your point. We just heard in the work session we're going to receive $300,000 from NERSD for the Sioux Lane culvert over Indian Creek. That's a major piece of the puzzle that was causing a problem. We have been told, and I did speak to Rachel Webb today to try to our stormwater manager here from NERSD, and I asked her about timeframes and what's going on and why are these things taking what they're taking. And I think the biggest issue that we're dealing with in terms of the properties at the western end, North Bedford and Ledge, is that they're considering this. It's a good thing they're considering it part of the regional plan, but it also means it's going to take more time than it would for a $12,000 item. Because we are getting money from NERSD and they are being cooperative, I feel fairly confident from talking with her that this is a high priority for them, and she told me it was. So the problem is, how quickly is that going to translate into an overall watershed plan, apparently, that will correct specifically North Bedford and Ledge? And the answer that I think I heard was that the actual plan may, in a draft form, will be out sometime this fall, but the correction will not happen until sometime in 2018 at the beginning of it. So that's the honest answer. And it is extremely, let me say something else here, because one of the things they talked about in this study that's very important is that we have a grading plan, an approved grading plan for all of these new residential areas that we built. And that includes all the swales, all the stuff that's supposed to happen, and then life happens and people happen and they fill in swales because they'd rather have a flat yard and all that.
Oh, sure.
Well, what that does is that affects everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things it says in this particular study is we need to have a formal way of having stormwater basin inspections, understanding what people are doing, not waiting until everything is collapsed, and that's something I think in the longer term that we're going to have to do. We're going to have, because otherwise this just builds up and builds up and builds up, and it's more and more millions. So before we get there, maybe we should be finding out how we're redirecting water by individual decisions that aren't really legitimate. So, at any rate, that's my comment.
I'll be very short. As a member of that committee, working with you and others, you know how I feel. You're number one. We have talked about it till we're blue in the face. Number two is Guadalupe. That pipe comes out at the edge of my property. Doesn't bother me, but it sure goes downstream and creates rivers all the way downstream, and ultimately has to wind up by your property. because it's flowing down to Indian Creek. The third one I don't want to forget is we have south of 82 that we kind of just always seem to look north. And we had Blue Jay, we had others in there. Part of the reason it wasn't done, we hit a recession. We hit a big time recession. And we also lost money from the state. If everyone remembers, we used to get more funding. That's all disappeared in funding and local funds. They did that to everyone across the board. So for me, this is a priority. I have already talked to the mayor about resurrecting the Stormwater Committee. To Sylvia's point about the issues that we'd already identified and plans that we thought we should do, yeah, it's time to go forward because we now have a permanent funding in place, as well as NEOSRD. But don't forget, guys, they reimburse us for these large projects. We have an approval process that we have to go through. We have an engineering that we have to do beforehand. And that's probably why we get so frustrated is it takes this long to do something. So I'm excited that we have abilities to fix smaller problems, which may seem small to you in your situation, but aren't small to the people in Brook Point.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're in the same boat as you, except yours impacts. But the one thing I'd make a comment, when you talk about Route 82 in Bedford, do you know that used to flood all the time? And then when they did the railroad bridge, when we did that bridge,
Yep.
they built the catch basin
Yep.
and they redirected. So I was real surprised that it flooded again because it hasn't for that many years. But the rain we had was pretty extraordinary.
Right.
So I think we move forward. We've had a lot of discussion about it. It's not going off the table, but the good thing is we now have funding to go forward.
I'll echo hers because her three are my three to a T. But, you know, when we talk about flooding everywhere, I don't know if people watch the news, but this wasn't just Macedonia. This was everywhere. We are getting extraordinary amounts of water. And I just read something today about Lake Erie, about it being something like 8 inches higher than normal. I mean, that tells you what's going on. It's not just Macedonia that's underwater. This is happening all over the place. We're trying to be proactive about, you know, doing what we could do to resolve these problems. But when we flood on the roads, it's a safety issue. And we want the safety forces to stop people from driving through that because we don't want people to get hurt. So
Exactly.
obviously, if the police get there first and they block the road, then the service will come and put a sign up saying that the road's blocked. And as we've seen, with Kevin's seen it and I've seen it, the water recedes. I mean, there's certain areas where when you get that amount of water, there's no stopping it. So, and also remember, we're called Nordonia Hills. So we, you know, the water, you know, we're all on a hill. I'm at the bottom of the hill on Crow. I'll never see any dry in my yard when it rains. It's just the reality of where I live. If I ever move, I'm buying the house on the highest hill I can find. But right now,
No, that's for me.
my kids don't play in the backyard. So that's my response.
Well, I appreciate everyone's time, and like I said, you know, I see situations, as in that study that Sylvia pointed out from 2008, Shepherd to Indian Hill, or Indian Creek, I mean,
Yeah,
everything runs
it's been there.
downhill.
Yeah.
And then to Nick, to your point, I mean, these road closures, I mean, under the railroad bridge, 82 in North Bedford, and so on. So I'm glad to hear that folks are talking about it again, and we'll see shovels moving and things being fixed. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right, moving into pending or new legislation. First up is ordinance number 44.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 44, 2017 for its second reading by title only.
An ordinance amending section 16702 of the codified ordinances of the City of Macedonia regarding the height of buildings located in B1 convenience business districts.
Moving on to ordinance number 46.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 46, 2017 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the appointment by the mayor of Janae Toney to the position of part-time firefighter in the City of Macedonia.
What's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 46, 2017, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance
Who was
number.
this? I'm sorry, who was the second on that?
No, there wasn't. Second.
Oh,
Thought I
thank
heard
you.
Dave.
Oh,
Second.
thank you, Miss Hannigan. It went kind
Got a
of
little fast here.
Yeah,
Are you gonna-
yes, he will.
Yeah, we have that
I
ready.
got the next one right?
Moving on to ordinance 47.
Wait,
Miss-
You're going to
Yes.
introduce Miss
I'd like to,
Tony.
No,
is
she-
Janae here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I had the wrong
We're
one.
not skipping anywhere. They got to
No,
give a
we-
speech.
Miss Tony, are you with us? Can you introduce your family, give a 15-minute speech, and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Janae Tony. I'm happy to be with you all. Today I'm with my husband, Jeff Tony. I'm with my mother there in the middle, my older sister Shakira and Jean, and my twin sister at the end. Her name is Sharon, so they rhyme. And then also have here my two nieces, Sayla and Peyton. Say hi, everybody.
yeah.
Looking forward to, well, I'll look different later. My hair changes a lot, so don't worry. My face is still the same. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. Hello there.
Well, you have a beautiful family, and welcome to our family.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on to
Moving on
47.
to 47.
Okay, I'd like to offer ordinance 47, 2017 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the appointment by the mayor of Daniel Pittman to the position of part-time firefighter in the city of Macedonia.
And what's your pleasure?
I move we pass and post ordinance 47, 2017 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Pittman, are you with us? Now, you got to give a 20-minute speech.
Well, my name is Daniel Pittman. This is my family, my wife, my mother, stepfather, and father.
All right.
So I'm a full-time firefighter in Cuyahoga Falls. I'm looking forward to continuing my help with the community here in Macedonia. I'm really excited to work with the guys at the Macedonia Fire Department. I did 4 years in the Marine Corps, so I served my country, and I'm ready to serve the community in a more direct manner. But thank you for the opportunity, everybody.
Chief, anything you want to add?
No, happy to have them both. You know, they both did outstanding in all of the testing that we've done. Janae is a established paramedic. She's new to firefighting, so we're happy to have her aboard. And of course, Dan served his country overseas, so we're very welcome to be able to get a veteran here. And Janae's husband is actually a Akron firefighter and also works in Twinsburg, so comes from a family. She comes from a family there, so in firefighting. So we're very happy to have both of them.
Well, welcome to the Macedonia family as well.
I want to know who was mugging in the back at Dan as he's trying to speak.
I was trying to get recognition.
All right, moving on to ordinance number 48.
I moved ordinance number 48, 2017 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Meredith Hurley to the position of part-time firefighter in the city of Macedonia.
What's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post ordinance number 48, 2017, the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Miss Hurley, are you with us?
Yeah.
Your turn.
It's her final,
Yes, she
it's her
is.
final appointment.
Oh, but listen, then you're well versed. You got to give the second stage of it. Come on, how much you love it here and how great it is. Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, moving on to ordinance number 49.
I'd like to offer ordinance 49, 2017 for first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I move that we.
Oh, I was just going to read it, sir. I just
There's a
lost
Cavs
my,
game. We got
yes,
it.
I know, I didn't jump in. An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Christian Road to the position of part-time firefighter in the city of Macedonia.
I move
Excuse
that
me.
we pass and post ordinance 49, 2017 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Christian Rowe, are you with us?
He is not. Christian is a full-time Cleveland EMS, and he is on shift tonight.
Gotcha.
They got a kind of a game, I think, going on.
Is there? I'm not sure.
So he might be at the game.
Ordinance number 50.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 50, 2017 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Joseph Sugar to the position of part-time firefighter in the city of Macedonia.
What's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 50, 2017, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Joseph, are you with us?
Joe is a full-time Twinsburg firefighter and is on duty over there tonight.
Very good.
Okay.
Moving on to ordinance number 51.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 51, 2017 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Michael Velasquez to the position of part-time firefighter in the city of Macedonia.
What's your pleasure?
I move we pass and post ordinance number 51, 2017 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Speech time.
Michael Velasquez? Yes, okay.
I'd like to say thank you all. As residents of Macedonia, it's been a wonderful year. I feel like it's really, well, at least I feel that I've gelled into the family here. So I'd like to say thank you again. It's been wonderful. So I look forward to many more years.
All right.
Thank you. Nice to have
Thanks.
Go, Mike.
you. Moving on to ordinance 52.
I'd offer ordinance 52, 2017 for first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Alita Olja to the position of full-time police and fire dispatch.
What's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post ordinance 52, 2017 according to law.
Second.
Gotcha. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alita, you're up.
I'd just like to say thank you. I love my job.
Well, good for you.
We're glad to have you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I recently downloaded the scanner app, so I listen to you guys at night. It helps me fall asleep.
Yeah. That's right.
Knowing you're safe, right?
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah. Can we have all the people that were just confirmed and whatever we want to call it, come up to the front for a picture, please?
Everybody.
Hello.
Here it is, guys. Michael, Alita,
Hello.
and the Chiefs on both sides.
Chiefs?
Yes, I want the Chiefs in that picture.
Pretty. Good job, huh? Everybody's going to take pictures. That's right, some of them are not. Cell phones everywhere.
Milk cartons next year.
There you go.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the team. Congratulations. All right, ordinance number 53.
There be some party time.
I was told there'd be cake.
Yeah, we let the people clear the room.
I think that's awesome. I know.
That was a good idea, actually.
Party time. Get out of here. Okay.
Okay, ready? I'd like to offer ordinance number 53, 2017 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a project agreement with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District relative to the replacement of the Sioux Lane culvert.
It's your pleasure.
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 53, 2017, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And just to be clear, this is for the finalization to repair the Sioux Road culvert, which has been a thorn in our side for what, 2 years now? So this is the final step to correct that problem. Moving on to ordinance number 54, I'll offer ordinance 54 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance amending ordinance 19, 2017 relative to the annual appropriation for annual expenditures of the City of Macedonia for the period January 1, 2017 to December 31st, 2017.
On this one, we'll take a roll call, but prior to that, we'll have a small discussion, and I'd like our engineer to kind of talk about what we're going to utilize this for, and our finance director for some of the other expenditures on there. But important to note that this is the big Brook Point one that we are going to push through. So,
More than just that.
well, there's other things on there, but I know we have people here specifically for that one, so I want them to hear that.
So are you offering it for adoption?
Not yet.
Oh.
I will. This double duty thing is not easy.
Yeah, sure. To get into some of the specifics, like we talked about in the work session, I know not everybody was in there. This appropriation is for drainage repairs to the property at 9519 Ledge Acres Road. Also for the drainage issues experienced on the north side of Brook Point Drive, just downhill of Ledgeview School. Also for the property at 1148 Brook Point Drive, that's the Andrasic property. Also, we've got allowances for rental of the sewer, video, and VAC vehicle, which we'll need to...
Joe, not to interrupt, what exactly is the sewer video? So you can...
It's a camera.
Like a...
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's a
Drainage
camera
system?
that fits in a sewer,
Gotcha.
rolls down the sewer, shoots a live video that
I
you
was
can
thinking
watch.
you guys were going to sit around and watch a video.
That's what we do, yeah. So, so there's an allowance for that. And a good question, fair question.
We've been made, Joe.
Yeah, it's okay. And also monies for catch basin repair as well. So, and then John, I don't know if you want to speak to the rest of it.
And the other expenditures?
Yeah.
The additional expenditures for road material to continue our spot patching. Don't want to have to ask for it later. Once we get started, we want to continue to go. Also for hiring additional part-time help, looking at having seasonals or possibly even temporary services coming to help us out, depending on our applications that we're receiving right now.
Thank you.
Do you want Rhonda to say?
I think they kind of hit it
basically
all.
covered
So.
it.
But sorry. Thank you.
Right.
I'm going to be passed and post according to law ordinance number 54, 2017.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. You not going to do a roll call?
Well, we'll do a roll call. Go ahead.
You did say that.
Yeah, I did. I
You
did
did.
say that.
You said that, but
Yes,
you
he
were
did.
reneging.
Mr. Bilkey,
I'm very happy to vote yes on this. This is going to solve issues, and that's what we're here to do, not just, let them linger. So I mentioned earlier that I just found out about the study with the stormwater. I'm looking forward to reading it so we can solve more of these issues. So yes.
Mr. Engel,
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan,
Yes.
Mr. Mulner.
Oddly, before we even brought this up to put it on our agenda, I spoke to every council person up here, and I had said to a few of them that, I could see how this would be upsetting to some of the other people with problems that have been out there, like the Loya family. And again, it's not a justification of it, but with the small dollar amount and with the new levy passing, we're able to solve some of our smaller issues like this one. So with that, my vote's yes.
Strong.
Ms. Tully.
Yes.
Ordinance number 54, 2017 passes.
And
Thank you.
Before we leave this, Mr. G, can you say when this would approximately begin, the work?
Yeah, I think we'd like to accomplish all of this summer. With this passing, we can go right into receiving some outside quotes to do all of this work and make a decision and move forward with those outside contractor or contractors.
Thank you.
Moving on to motions or other legislative action. Hearing none, correspondence from the clerk.
I just have one, sir. To Patrolman Bruce, and actually what they're referring to is Dispatcher Bruce Genovese. Thank you so much for helping me on Tuesday, May 30th, when I was scammed for $3,000. I did go back to Walmart, and though it took a couple days, it was returned to me. What I did not know, when I did not know what to do, you were so kind to help me know and give me direction. Thank you again. And I don't think I should say her name. Do you think I should say her name? No, I don't think so either. It's okay. I'm sorry.
All right, moving on
I made a
to-
management decision at that moment. I didn't realize what the letter was about.
Moving on to the mayor's report, the mayor could not make it tonight. He had a family matter to attend. One of the things he wanted to touch on was years back, I put through something for no solicitors, and there had been some legal problems with that because perhaps the legal department could touch on it, but you can't really say no solicitors are allowed. So one thing you can do is have a no-knock rule. So if you sign up to say that you don't want people knocking on your door, they cannot knock on your door. And when someone registers with the city to solicit, they can't come to your door. Some of the things being kicked around are maybe putting a sticker on your door, your mailbox that says you don't want solicitors to come to your home. I know that I've had many come to my home currently, and it becomes quite annoying, especially at 9 o'clock at night when in years past my young kids were sleeping and they're ringing the doorbell and saying, well, I can come here and talk to you, and I can say, no, you can't. You need to go and stop ringing my doorbell at 9 o'clock at night. So we're going to work on something for the no-knock registration. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, and the new regulations are a result of constitutional case law promulgated by the courts. Constitutional issues are traditionally on a kind of evolution and arc, and this tend to become more restrictive as far as what municipalities are permitted to regulate. So our new code reflects that. The no-knock registry is a permissible way to regulate. So if you do sign up for the registry, that will be distributed to solicitors at the time they apply to receive a certificate of registration, and at that point they won't be permitted to even really go down your driveway. They'll have to skip the house. So.
The one issue I raised with it, and I think we're working on too, is I don't mind the schools and the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts and things like that. I just don't want the guy that came to my home and said, well, I'm here for siding and windows, and I pointed out to him that my siding was brand new and he was trying to sell me new siding. So obviously wouldn't hire that company even if I needed it. The second thing is road resurfacing. Big great news is the bids are being opened on June 16th. So once that happens, we can kind of move forward with this year's roads that are going to be repaired. So exciting stuff, but that's for group one only. He wanted me to touch on the stormwater, which I think we've hit pretty hard. The big one right now is the Fun Fest is June 8th to the 11th. That starts tomorrow. Tomorrow from 5 to 8 there is a car show. Friday, obviously there's things for the kids to do, food trucks and all that. Saturdays are fireworks. There's concerts throughout the weekend, so we would encourage everyone to attend. One thing to note too, in terms of security, the mayor has secured a security tower with a 360-degree camera from Homeland Security that we're going to borrow for the weekend. So we're going to have a lot of eyes on what's going on around us with the State of the Union and things going on around the world today. I don't think it's a bad thing to have that being watched. Obviously, our police and our fire will be monitoring that as the weekend goes on. So hopefully everything goes off without a hitch, and I'm pretty excited about it. So.
You forgot there's a run on a Friday night through the woods, if you'd like. And if you don't want to run, I'll walk with you because I've already signed up. But it partway goes through the woods and then through the grass. I think it's where cross-country kids once in a while go out and train. And then there's also a kids run. And what was the big incentive? Oh, yeah, that's right. I get a beer at the end. What more?
The kids do.
Not
If you're of age.
Yeah, not the kids.
No, not the kids run.
Yes, there's an enclosed beer garden.
Yeah.
See, I like the things with motors. You like the walk. So
That's right.
your
The runs.
thing.
Yep.
Have fun with it.
Get out there and run.
Moving on to committee reports.
We had a Parks and Recs, kind of a subcommittee meeting. We double dipped in May because we're not going to have one in June because of the festival. But the second one in May had to deal with the gentleman that was running the Wizard of Oz thing that's going to be coming in September. And
October.
I thought it was September.
I thought it was October. He
September
moved it.
22nd. And
I thought he moved it.
I'm encouraging him to come here and speak about it, to get people excited. I've had a few people call me and ask to be volunteers. From what he reported to us, this is going to be a 15 to 20,000 people attending this from all across the world. That these Wizard of Oz festivals draw a lot of people. So I unfortunately am going not to be in town for the Wizard of Oz.
You're not gonna
I
be
might
here.
rent out my house to the Airbnb, but so just if you want to know more about it, contacts our Parks Director. She loves to talk about the Wizard of Oz, and she'll help out. That's the only thing that we had on the agenda for that night. But we have also talked about in the beginning of May just some of the improvements that we'd like to see at the rec center, including refitting the locker rooms as a top priority. And also, I think it's called Diamond Bright, and that it would be when you drain the pool, as they do every year, you actually resurface the pools inside, so they have a 10-year, like new liner. And I also want to commend our service department. I got an email saying that our bathrooms, our handicap stalls that were, up at the park didn't have railings. I informed our service director within 24 hours they were put in. So John, I talked to Jason.
They're ordered.
Okay.
They're ordered right now, yeah.
They're on
They're
order?
not in.
No, we have them now.
Okay, so they'll be in tomorrow?
We're aiming at tomorrow or by Friday.
Okay, so I just want to commend you on thanking you to, the rectifying, and I use that word 3 times tonight, rectify, but, I like to solve problems, and it's about time that we start doing it. So thank you again, and that's all my report.
Real quick, we have a finance committee, which will be the state of the business and how we're doing on Wednesday, June 28th at 6:30. It truly is just to take a look at how we're doing against the budget, as well as hopefully no unexpected expenses.
Any other committee reports? Moving on to department reports. Mr. Nadavange.
Can be brief real quick. Okay, just real quick, the noise that you hear, the ruckus going up on the roofs, that is currently getting replaced right now, should be finished with City Hall by middle of next week, and then they'll be moving on to the rec center, then to our parks, barns, and then finally at our 9,000 location on Valley View for our salt shed repairs. Also, thank you for passing the ordinance tonight for the appropriations. It's a small step in the right direction. Currently, just a quick little number, Joe and I have visited 28 sites so far from the flooding events alone, from the rainstorms we've had. Ken, we understand your situation, you're going through it. When we don't have the resources to do anything for you, we have to try to address where we can and when we can. But thank you for passing it. It's, like I said, it's been part of the plans for how many years now, so it's about time we start nitpicking at these and getting them off the list. That's all I have.
One more thing to note, I actually just remembered, the Veterans Memorial, I was asked to let people know that they're going to be pouring the footers by Friday, so there's progress there. That's what the mayor had let me know, so there's progress there. Also, I want to thank the service department, because with all the floods and everything we've had been going on, I know they're working some long and hard days and nights, and our safety forces as well have been involved with it too, but thank you for being out there and taking that time, and please pass it on to the guys that we do appreciate. That goes a long way. Mr. Gelati. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I cut you off.
I just said thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Mr. Gelati.
Sure, thank you. We've talked about stormwater enough tonight, so I won't discuss that any further. And the only other item I had, as Mr. Molnar mentioned, we will open bids on June 16th, that's 8 days from today, for the road program. So we hope to identify a contractor to pave these roads at that time. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mrs. Manley.
Thank you. As you mentioned, the Spirit of Macedonia Fun Fest is starting tomorrow, which is Thursday, June 8th, and running through Sunday, June 11th. We have lots of activities planned, some very exciting bands that we're looking forward to performing in the evenings. We have the car cruise in on Thursday, the 5K on Friday. We have Kittyland this year for the smaller ones. So I think those under 42 inches, there's some extra rides this year, some additional food vendors. And of course, our fireworks on Saturday night. And most importantly, the Cavs game will be broadcast Friday night next to the stage. So we will have our own little Cavs viewing party, so don't let the game deter you from coming out to the event. So I want to thank Patrick and IT and Mike DeBrouse and some of the service guys for getting a screen together and getting an area where they were making that possible for people to watch the game. So you won't miss out on the game. And I know there's not another meeting as of right now, until the end of July. So the weekend after the Fun Fest, we have our Macedonia Fishing Day, which is June 17th. We have 2 time slots in the morning. It's for kids under the age of 17. We applied for 2 different grants, which were $500 each, and we did receive those. So we were able to purchase fishing poles. So every child who registers and attends gets a free fishing pole, and they go around from station to station, and it's a little educational workshop. And we provide lunch. So you do need to register for that, even though it is free. The weekend after that, June 25th or 24th and 25th, is Macedonia's first citywide garage sale. So if you want to host a garage sale in your home within the city of Macedonia, we ask that you contact the rec center, register your address, and we will have a master list of all homes participating that weekend in the citywide garage sale. And we'll take care of all the advertising for that. So hopefully everyone will get some traffic. We've got registrations open for all kinds of programs, sports camp, summer day camp, you name it. It's on our website, and in a lot of those we also make regular announcements on our Facebook page. So I invite people to check out all of our programming that we have going on throughout the summer, because there's a lot of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Hall. Oh, sorry, you have a question, sir?
No, I said thank you.
Oh, Mrs. Hall.
Thank you. I only have one item. Just wanted to let you know that the auditors are going to be back in town tomorrow to finish up our 2016 audit. I was trying to see if they could be done today to give you an exit conference, but unfortunately that did not happen. So what we'll do is, once I find out when the audit will be finished, we'll set up a time and date for an exit conference with council. So just wanted to inform you of that, and that's it.
Thank you. Chief Black.
Thank you. We do have 2 hydrant crews out, flushing hydrants. They have their vests on. We try to make them highly visible. They're in fire department trucks. They are servicing all of our fire hydrants in Macedonia, Northfield Center, and Sagamore. So they are out. We do have signs that they'll be posting out where they're located, where they're working. So please be careful if you see them out. That's all I have.
Thank you. Chief Golden.
Just to add about the soliciting, I've been working with the mayor and Mark on some various things that hopefully we'll be able to get out to the public and help with this issue. I know we had some arrests with some solicitors in our area recently, and it is a problem, as you brought up, I don't know how many years ago, with your legislation. So we're looking to address that shortly, and that's all I have.
Can I ask one quick question?
No.
Okay.
It's quick.
For people's edification, the school resource officer, since school is out, how are we utilizing so people know he just doesn't ride around in the little cart?
No. Glenn's working the road now. He's filling shifts. He has other duties besides what he does at the school. He does all the prep work for Myra, our prosecutor, filing all the reports for her, all the video, all various things like that, and he's filling shifts on the road. So he does other things besides working at the school.
But not in his little car?
No, not in the little car.
Because it does not have a light?
It does have a light.
He said it didn't have a light on it.
Well, initially it didn't.
Oh, okay.
He has a light now.
Does he have the radio now?
He has a radio.
Okay.
It is an official police vehicle.
It chases bicycles.
All good? Thanks, Chief. Mr. Goodetti.
No reports.
Mark, I got a quick question for you, and it just popped in my head. On ordinance number 44, just the one on the buildings, is there a scheduled public hearing on that?
No.
We don't need one?
No.
Okay. It's a little too late for me to ask, and I just thought that any time you wanted to change something. We're not changing the zoning on that?
This isn't a change to the zoning map. It's a change to kind of
requirements.
almost a mechanical piece of the code.
Okay, thank you.
Any unfinished business?
Easy for you to say.
Any new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Go Cavs.
Go Cavs, yep.
Did you just get caught? No.